Hello and welcome to my tarot corner. So let's start with a little bit of housekeeping. Out of the 5 winners altogether that I drew for my tarot giveaway, 3 already contacted me, but 2 didn't. And one of them is Deborah Brooks from the second draw, and Average Rando from the first one. So you still have time to contact me. I'm not going to the mail until next week. So if you do until the middle of next week, then I will, of course, send you the decks that you wanted. If not, then next time maybe. But 3 already contacted me, and the first the first giveaway was for 3 people, so I already have 3 winners. But I will give all 5 people that I will send all 5 people that won in the 2 draws that I did, if all 5 contact me. So Deborah Brooks and the one who calls herself or himself Average Rando, please contact me so I can send you your decks. Okay, so that's out of the way. And today I'm going to do two relationship two relationships readings. The first one is going to be around Meghan and her niece Ashleigh, because it's quite evident that Meghan used Ashleigh in order to hurt her sister, and and she used the very famous gaslighting method in order to convince Ashleigh that Samantha is the one responsible for not inviting Ashleigh to the royal wedding. And Ashleigh was very hurt by that, and she really believed Meghan that her biological mother is responsible for that. Now, I'm going to link in the description box 2 videos from Nate the lawyer's channel, in which he interviews Samantha Markle. And Samantha Markle tells the true story about her daughter, about the reasons why she gave her daughter into adoption. And she did not give her daughter to adoption for strangers. She gave her daughter to the grandparents from her biological father's side. And she explained it, and it sounded very logical to me. And had I been in the same position as Samantha was at that time, I might have thought about this, of doing the same. Now, naturally, I have a different situation, and I have a bigger support group, family support around me. And I don't live in the United States, where people are living so far away from one another. But still, it is, I can understand Samantha Markle's decision, and the things that Meghan says in that live commentary. For example, she says there that Thomas Markle said, listen, your Samantha found her daughter. Now, Samantha did not need to find her daughter, because Samantha knew where her daughter was. She knew all the time where her daughter was, because she didn't give her to a blind adoption to someone she did not know. She knew that Ashleigh was with her grandparents, and she decided to give give her to adoption, mainly so that she will have a family unit of a father and a mother, and in schools, in school days, in everywhere, that she will feel like the other children, and she will not feel like someone who is not included. Anyway, I will link below the interview that Nate, the lawyer, did with Samantha. It's really very eye-opening, but it's really evident that Meghan Markle befriended Ashleigh in order to hurt and to cause harm to her sister, and the sister that she herself called from Buenos Aires or called from other places where she felt the need for support. And I'm not going to do a spread about the relationship between Samantha herself and Ashleigh, because Samantha did not answer my email yet. And if she does give me a permission, I will. But this is Ashleigh and Meghan Markle, and I'm going to look at it from Ashleigh's point of view, and I'm going to look at it as a relationship with a toxic person. Now, I really believe that Meghan really used a gaslighting technique in order to make Ashleigh believe that Samantha is to blame for Ashleigh not being invited to the wedding, although the palace were very much disturbed by the fact that no one from Meghan's family was invited, besides her mother, and they would have given permission for anyone from the family that would have been invited, and there was no problem to invite Ashleigh without inviting Samantha herself. And both Lady C says that, and and Neil Sean says that, and many other royal reporters say that. And instead of inviting her own family, Meghan decided to invite A-listers that she didn't know. And even her own co-workers in suits only got invited to the event in the main event in the church, but not to the party that we will see in the next 3 episodes that land today. Okay, so I'm using the last big size tarot deck, Rider-Waite tarot deck, and it actually comes in a set. It's called The Unknown Lives in a pack of cards, and it comes with it's in this box. It comes with, sorry, everything is coming is falling apart. Okay, let me just put it away. So anyway, so it comes in this box, and in this box there is this box of the universal tarot cards, but it's actually the Rider-Waite tarot cards, and in it there is also a oracle deck that is called Manifest Soulmate Oracle cards. So, and it comes with this very very small, very not very telling tarot guide, which doesn't really matter, because the real reason that I bought this set was because it wasn't expensive, and because of the oracle cards that came with it. So because I did not need another Rider-Waite deck, but I liked the oracle deck. So I will use the Soulmate oracle cards when I will do love love readings when we will get near, when we will get near, how do you call that day? Valentine's Day. Okay, so before I start, please take a few moments to read my full disclaimer in the description box. This is a tarot reading. It is vibrational. It is open to interpretation. It is open to interpretation. It exists as assumptions and speculation, and as such may or may not be true. So please do your own research and decide for yourselves. Okay, so now I'm going to clear the deck. And let's start asking. So the relationship between Ashleigh, Hale and Meghan Markle, the relationship between Ashleigh, Hale and Meghan Markle, as Meghan Markle a toxic person. The relationship between Ashleigh, Hale and Meghan Markle, as Meghan Markle being a very toxic person. Okay, so funnily enough, I've been getting a lot of comments that I shuffle too much the cards, and then yesterday someone said that I don't shuffle enough the cards. So, I shuffle as much as I feel that I need to shuffle. Okay, so the first card is the core lesson that is available for Ashleigh because of her relationship with Meghan. So what can she learn from that relationship? What is the lesson that she can take from that relationship? And what we're getting here is the Four of Swords. So that's interesting because the Four of Swords is not a very good card. And after being and I believe that Ashleigh is still very much adoring Meghan, very much in a place that she believes Meghan. Otherwise, she wouldn't participate in the commentary. So this is a lesson that she needs to learn. And this is a card that tells her to stop. This is a card that tells her that she needs to to lie down and to think about things, to decide not to decide. This is what this card is talking about. And this is the lesson that she needs to learn from this relationship. She needs to stop blaming her mother. She needs to stop and think. She needs to take some time and to look back and to look at the way that she was treated by Meghan. Look at what the palace says, what the truth is, what her mother says, and then make a decision. But this card is telling her that she needs some time out. She needs to take some time in order to see things clearly, sometime out of the situation. Sometimes we need to take some time out of the situation in order to be able to look at the situation from the outside. And when you look at a situation from the outside, you can analyze it and you can see the situation in a completely different light. And then you can see the truth. Now, Ashleigh has been gaslighted by Meghan. She was treated by a very narcissist person, and I'm very, very sorry that A.G. Tudor hasn't been uploading videos lately, or maybe I'm just not getting any notifications, and I really have to look it up. But I was really waiting to hear his analysis of the way that Meghan has been treating Ashleigh. But it seems to me like Meghan really treated Ashleigh in a really terrible way, and it looks like she gaslit her. She led her to believe that her mother is to blame for the fact that she wasn't invited to the royal wedding, that everything is just Samantha's fault, that nothing is Meghan's fault. And she really, after a long time of cultivating this relationship with Ashleigh, she was just waiting for the opportunity to use Ashleigh as a weapon against Samantha. And Ashleigh needs to see that. But in order to see that, she needs to take some time. She needs to decide not to decide, to take some time in order to look at the situation from the outside and to be able to see things differently. So that is the core lesson that is available for her. Okay, so that card comes here. The next card is the unconscious content that Meghan evokes within Ashleigh. Now, this is a very important thing because Ashleigh has a lot of, let's say, unconscious bias against her mother. She has a lot of feelings that maybe she is not aware of, and unconscious feelings, unconscious things that were evoked by the relationship with Meghan Markle. So what were those things? And what I'm getting here is the world. Okay, so the world card is a card of endings and beginnings. And in a way, the world card is a card that of someone who is it's a little bit a card of someone who is cooked up in the cocoon, but also someone who is extravagant and is likes to show up himself, like the woman here that is that is naked actually, with these batons that she's like having this a performance. So this is like a contradiction in terms. And this is the unconscious content that is evoked in Ashleigh. The contradictions that her life is. Because on one side, she had a very loving mother, a mother who loved her enough to let her go. And the story is, at least from Samantha's side, is that she started having symptoms of MS. Because I don't know if you know that, but I can tell you as a doctor that it's true, that Samantha had her first attack of MS when she was a teenager. Now, MS is a disease that it has several ways of showing up, and one of the most, let's say, prevalent ways that MS shows up is called remitting relapsing. And it means that you have attacks, and in between attacks, there is a remission. And in every attack, every relapse, it gets worse and worse until it turns out to be a continuous MS, and then you are bound to a wheelchair, and then things are just getting worse, and it's not a remitting relapsing anymore, but it is a chronic MS. And what happened, and pregnancies usually are aggravating events for MS. So after a pregnancy, usually there is an attack. And this is exactly what happened with Samantha. Now, her relationship with her husband at that time wasn't going so well, and they already started talking about a divorce. Now, she had to work, and his parents were already taking care of Ashleigh during the time that she was working. And then came a suggestion that his parents will take her and take care of her. And Samantha was very much in anxiety of what will happen if she's alone with Ashleigh and she has an attack and she might drop Ashleigh, and this could happen. So she decided to let her husband's parents raise Ashleigh, and this was a decision that was was agreed by everyone, by her husband, by her husband's parents, and by herself. And then she decided to let her husband's parents adopt Ashleigh, because she did not want Ashleigh to feel different. She wanted Ashleigh to have parents, to have a whole family unit, to not to feel different when she goes to school, not to feel the need to explain her different situation to classmates or to the teachers. So this was the reason why Ashleigh was raised by her grandparents, and not because anything else. Now, now the world card is something that shows that the unconscious content is about, first of all, the ending and the beginning. So something that Ashleigh doesn't see, but this was evoked inside of her. The fact that something ended and something new began after her mother decided to give her to her grandparents. So this was one thing. And the other thing is the contradiction between being an introvert, which is someone who doesn't like to show, to be shown to the world, which I guess Ashleigh is, and being an extrovert, which is Meghan Markle. So these two contradictions were evoking all sorts of things in Ashleigh herself. So I think that this is also about perfectionism. This is also about the need for closure. And I think that one of the things that Ashleigh felt by this relationship with Meghan Markle, the need for closure with her mother, with her father, with everything that happened during her childhood. So this is the unconscious content. Okay, so what kind of advice can we give Ashleigh on approaching this relationship from now on? Because if she does take the time to see that from the outside, and if she does realize that she was dealing with a very narcissist person, a person that gaslighted her, and a person that is very toxic and that just took advantage of her, and probably is not in contact with her today, or not close contact as she used to be. So what kind of advice can we give her on approaching this relationship forward. And what I'm getting is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is the vacation card. So this card is telling her to leave. This card is telling her take some time off. Take get away from the turbulent waters. Wait a minute. I'm going to close the door over there. Sorry about that. So this card, as an advice, is telling her get as far away as you can from Meghan Markle. Leave these stormy waters and go as far away as you can from her. Leave. Don't stay in contact with her. Even if you are in some sort of contact with her, don't be. Leave her alone and don't help her in any other way. Just get away from her. Okay, next card is how to support. Wait a minute. Sorry, I read the next line. So the next card is how to process the unconscious content that was evoked in Ashleigh by Meghan Markle. And what I'm getting here is judgment. And it came out in the reverse, which is curious, but I'm going to, it is badly aspected by the Four of Swords that is near it. So it doesn't really matter if I read it upright or in the reverse, because it is badly aspected as it is. So I'm going to just show it in the upright. And Judgment is a card of a very, very slow change. Now, just pay attention that both of these cards are major arcanas. We're talking about a very spiritual, very emotional processes. It's not something that is grounded, and that is why this is unconscious. These are things that are not happening in the consciousness of Ashleigh. And both of these cards are, this is number 20 and this is number 21. Now we had a card in between, so it's curious. So the Judgment card is a card that I always talk about it as, and I always tell you the story about the cocoon and the butterfly. And the butterfly is in the cocoon and is going through a very long, painful process in which he uses his wings to kick the walls of the cocoon in order to get out. And he, after he bangs the walls of the cocoon, then he's able to get out and then to fly. Now, if he won't do that, he won't go through that process, or if we will help him to get out, then he will die immediately, because he needs that process in order to strengthen his wings, so he'll be able to fly. Without that, he won't be able to fly. So this is a necessary process. This is a necessary, painful process. So this card shows us that in order for Ashleigh to be able to deal with this unconscious content, she needs to go through a very painful change, which is necessary for her, but she has to go through that change. And what change are we talking about? So first of all, she needs to change the way that she sees her family, her whole family, not only Meghan. She needs to change the way that she sees her mother, her uncle, her grandfather from the other side. She needs to see, to start looking at her identity and to change the way that she sees her own identity, and to change a lot of things about the way that she sees her life. And she actually a very accomplished young woman who is an immigration lawyer, and she's someone who is not stupid, and she just went through a very she was in contact with a very toxic person who gaslighted her, who love bombed her. She took Meghan took her to all sorts of trips and excursions and all sorts of shopping trips, and she just love bombed her. All the things that she didn't do with her mother, she could do with her aunt. So she grew to love her aunt. She grew to believe her aunt. Now she has to go through a very painful process of realizing her aunt's true face and realizing that she had it all wrong. So that is not an easy process to go through. Okay, so next card. How can Ashleigh self-support herself? Can she support herself through this process? Because it is a very painful, difficult process to go through. And what we're getting here is the Emperor, another major arcana. So first of all, the Emperor is the father. And the Emperor could also be the grandfather, because I don't know if her father is someone that she's still in contact with, but she has her grandfather. I don't know if her grandfather is still alive, but this card is calling her to be in contact with a male figure that she can count on. And this could be someone from her paternal side. This could be also Thomas Markle. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is to be able to control the material world. And this doesn't mean to be wealthy and to work a lot. It is about controlling her world. It is about taking the controls back to herself. It is about looking at her life and looking at the way that Meghan love bombed her, gaslighted her, controlled the way that she sees the world, the way that she sees her family, and to change that, to take control back. So this is what she needs to do in order to support herself. Okay, so this is the tarot, which is quite interesting because we have 3 major arcanas and 2 swords, which means that she needs to think a lot, she needs to make plans, and it is a very spiritual process here. And this apparently this is what we need to do when we tackle a narcissist. Okay, so we are getting near the holiday season, and I did get the other gems, precious gems oracle that I spoke about. So I thought it will be nice to use it in order to give Ashleigh some kind of advice. So whenever I say her name, I think of, I don't know if you read that that book. It's called North and South, South and North, or North and South, but it's not about the the war between the North and the South. It's about England in the 19th century, and there was a beautiful television series that was done for it. Anyway, it's beautiful, and the female protagonist was called Margaret Hale, and Ashleigh is Ashleigh Hale. Okay, so let's clear the deck. Wait a minute. Okay. Advice for Ashleigh Hale on dealing with her toxic aunt. Advice for Ashleigh Hale on dealing with her toxic aunt. Okay, so let's see what we get. Now look how beautiful it is. And we get var mine, and the keyword is a bride, but let's see what is the longer interpretation. Okay, so I read it all wrong. It is vermarine, and it is a bridge. And what it means, it's that it is a bridge between the physical and the spiritual realm. And the affirmation of this card is that Ashleigh's physical and spiritual bodies need to be synchronized, and this is something that she could use as a bridge to synchronize both of her spiritual realm and or her spirit and her body. So as we saw in the tarot, it was very spiritual because we had three major arcanas. We had two sword cards, which are also about thoughts and ideas. So it is very, very spiritual, very about thoughts and ideas. So the divinatory meaning is a solid plan links possibilities and actuality. A higher ideal or cause is taken up in the workplace or incorporated into daily life. An ephemeral encounter has a physical impact, deja vu, or a sense of what is coming. So, and the affirmation is my physical and spiritual bodies are synchronized, my life balance between the spiritual and the physical. I have a strong link with my spiritual guides. I am in touch with my higher self. So this is the message, and I hope you liked it. And if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.